Now let's take a closer look at what's next for the cryptocurrency industry with Rich Tehrani, who's joining me now from Connecticut. Rich is the CEO and Group Editor-in-Chief of media marketing firm TMC. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. So let's take a look at a bit of this roller coaster. Even after a massive drop in value, cryptocurrency keeps clawing its way back and holding on. Why is that?
So I wrote an article, a blog entry back in 2013 called 15 Reasons Why Bitcoin is Better Than Gold. I recommend people who want to learn more look that up. And in that post, this was before cryptocurrencies were launched, besides Bitcoin, that was the only one. And some of the reasons that I cited then were fiat currency, people losing confidence in fiat currency, people wanting to be able to transfer money out of the country in countries where that's restricted. Those are two very big reasons why people will use a cryptocurrency.
Now, when Bitcoin was doing well, you saw a lot of people perhaps weren't familiar with investing, really trying to get in on all the hype. But how has the market for cryptocurrency and the types of investors in this market changed since Bitcoin's record high?
Well, investing is just one avenue for Bitcoin. I mean, there are a lot of other reasons to use Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, such as transactions, such as e-commerce, things like that. So it's broader than just what you're talking about. I mean, I think there's just so many aspects to it. It's not just an investment, but there are obviously a group of investors that are betting on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as being the next gold, or the next precious metal, or the next, I called it gold 2.0, you know, the next big thing in commodity investing.
So as we look at Bitcoin's other uses, where does the push to have Bitcoin more widely accepted in places stand?
Well, there are a lot of companies that are trying to become the bridge between the online and the offline world. Eventually, I think what we'll see is the banks will have to be big players there, or Silicon Valley. You just mentioned Facebook a few moments ago. Everybody wants to get in on the money craze, the wallet craze. We see Apple has a wallet, Samsung has a wallet, Google has a wallet. Having a cryptocurrency that's safe and secure tied to a basket of currencies, for example, like Facebook, allow them to be the center of an ecosystem of commerce.
And so, mentioning Facebook, we know that they've had their own issues in terms of mishandling some users' data. What is Facebook's motivation, given the information that they already have about its users, and how do you see it working?
Well, the motivation is the ecosystem and growing your ecosystem. You want to have a smart doorbell, then you want to have a smart thermostat, then you want to have a smart speaker, then you want to be tied into the wallet. Then from there, you want to be tied into the e-commerce. From there, you want to be involved in the social sharing of what people are buying. Then advertising. I mean, this is really what's happening. All these companies are competing with each other in a bunch of different directions. But anyone who's gone to a Whole Foods in the US, they see that the tie-in between Amazon and Whole Foods is getting tighter and tighter with Prime, with coupons and things like that. That's kind of how we should all think of the future world, where these different companies want to tie us into their ecosystems and allow us to use their product in their ecosystem and then grow that ecosystem out as they compete with others.
Now, it doesn't always work for the positive. We know that cryptocurrency has been also used as a political tool. In fact, the South African town of Orania made headlines recently. It's a town where only white South Africans live, and they essentially created their own local e-currency just to use amongst themselves. You have other countries, especially those facing sanctions, like Venezuela, also considering creating their own digital currencies. What's your take on the pros and cons of politics and cryptocurrencies colliding?
Well, there's a group of people, you mentioned in Australia, and they're kind of libertarian in nature, and they kind of want self-autonomy, and they want their own currency. The challenge is that you're going to have the same problems that you have and need a government for if everyone's using an electronic currency. For example, if somebody gets hacked, then they're going to need some service to figure out, like police force, to figure out who was hacked. And they're going to need a court system. And they're going to need somebody to enforce what the courts say. So at the end of the day, you're going to end up with a government anyway. So you really, using cryptocurrency is great for libertarian thoughts and ideals. But at the stage crypto is in right now, it's not perfect. So you're going to have real world problems. And you'll need a real world government to solve that. And now you mentioned Venezuela. they already have a currency tied to their oil and commodities, and that's the government-run side of the cryptocurrency. But the actual citizens, to get money out of the country, a lot of times what they do is they'll use Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency to get the money out. And it's not just there. Lots of areas in South America are like that. Argentina has had problems on and off with getting money out of the country. So it's a pervasive problem in the world that fiat currencies, governments want to control people a lot of times through the currency, and they want the currency to be supported.
Right.
They don't necessarily want you to go to a third party or a crypto.
Rich Tehrani there, CEO and Group Editor-in-Chief of TMC.